On today's episode, we're going to learn about African-American pioneer Harriet Tubman. Who was Harriet Tubman? Harriet Tubman was born between 1820 and 1822. She was born into the horrible institution of slavery. She was emancipated or given her freedom officially in December of 1849. Harriet Tubman was a leader on the Underground Railroad.
There's good reason why Harriet Tubman is known as the Moses of her people, her life's mission, to bring freedom to people. What does it mean to abolish? Abolitionists abolish slavery. To abolish means to get rid of.
Harriet returned to the South often to find and to free slaves. She is believed to have freed hundreds of slaves from the South to the North. During Harriet's life, she acquired seizures from being hit in the head with a weight, and it gave her lots of trouble in falling asleep. She inevitably earned the nickname Mother Moses after Moses from the Bible. She was the first woman to lead a raid for the Union Army. President Abraham Lincoln gave Harriet a Medal of Freedom. Harriet had many friends, including abolitionist Frederick Douglass, John Brown, Susan B. Anthony, William Lloyd Garrison, and Lucretia Mott.
The lady we know as Harriet Tubman was born Araminta Ross. She would later become known as Minty. It is estimated that Harriet Tubman was born on the eastern shores of Maryland in 1822. But no one's for sure because records weren't taken then of slaves and their births. By 1831, Harriet Tubman had already heard her first stories of this Underground Railroad. No, not in the railroad that you and I think of a secret network that could lead slaves to freedom. In 1834, in a great case of mistaken identity, Harriet Tubman was hit in the head with a weight, and it would crush her skull. Now, the weight was aimed at someone else, but it hit her in the head, and it caused her to collapse and fall. Well, it caused her to have these seizures that she would continue to have all throughout her life, and she would say that they gave her great visions and vivid dreams of what God was telling her to do. The seizures that were caused by this skull fracture from that weight being thrown at her head, well, it's called hypersomnia, which caused her to just randomly fall asleep at different times. She'd be talking and she'd fall asleep. She married John Tubman in 1844. Harriet Tubman ran away from her plantation to Philadelphia in 1849. In 1858, Harriet Tubman met John Brown, known for the raid at Harper's Ferry later on in the story. Harriet Tubman earned the affectionate nickname Mother Moses because just like the prophet Moses in the book of Exodus, Moses led her people to freedom. In 1863, Harriet Tubman became the first woman in American history to lead a raid when she was leading parts of the Union Army to liberate slaves. 1859. John Brown led a raid at Harper's Ferry. Well, why did he do that? Well, he was trying to cause an insurrection, a slave rebellion, to repeal and just revolt against the institution of slavery in this country. During the American Civil War, Harriet Tubman worked as a spy, a cook, and a secret agent. Well, the Civil War ended in 1865, and even though Abraham Lincoln had been killed, assassinated by John Wilkes Booth, she was still awarded a Medal of Freedom for her bravery. Harriet Tubman died of pneumonia in 1913. So this is the Wall of Fame. If you're talking about suffragists and abolitionists, you're in the right place. Elizabeth Cady Stanton was an abolitionist. She was a suffragist. She was BFFs with Susan B. Anthony and Lucretia Mott. She helped organize the National Women's Suffragists Association with Susan B. Anthony, and she attended the Seneca Falls Convention. All right, now there at the Seneca Falls Convention, she wrote the Declaration of Sentiments, which mirrored the Declaration of Independence, but it gave women a voice. It made the provision that all men and women were created equal. Right here, Harriet Tubman, Mother Moses, she's the woman that led African American slaves to the Promised Land in the Underground Railroad, the queen of the Underground Railroad.
Tubman is best known by these buzzwords such as escaped slave, abolitionist, rescuer, spy, especially during the Civil War, leader, and advocate for the civil rights of African Americans. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to check out our Teachers Pay Teacher store. Follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and check out our Pinterest page. If you like this video, hop on over to our YouTube channel where you can check out many exciting videos like the one that you've just seen. And check out our blog at www.bowtieguyandwife.com. We'll see you next time.